Today I'm going to go ahead and build a milking machine, and I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions on what you need and explain how I'm going to do it. I think it's time to upgrade our milking machine. The one we got was from Amazon. It's a very small unit, has 1/4-inch inflations. I'm not saying it didn't do a good job, but I mean, as our farm grows and our goats grow, we're milking more and more goats, and we need something a little quicker, a little more handy, and definitely a little easier to clean. This is basically what you need to build this machine. You need your inflations, you need some type of pump, you need some type of milking container, you need a vacuum gauge, you need a pulsator, some hose, glue, and Teflon tape, a random piece of 3/4-inch PVC, 3 3/4-inch tees, 5 reducers with 1/2-inch threads on the inside, 4 1/2-inch barb fittings, and 3 reducers from 1/2-inch to 1/4-inch female. Some brackets to hang the manifold on the wall. A vacuum regulator. This will regulate the amount of vacuum pressure that's going through the manifold. So hopefully this will work out well. I've done some research on this, watched a few videos on this, and I figure it's either going to work out or it's going to flop. We'll see. The first thing I'm going to do is dry fit everything and put the manifold together. So we take a T, the first end, we'll put an insert. You want to make sure you glue everything that needs to be glued, as well as use your Teflon tape for any threaded joints, because you don't want any air leaks. So we want to put an insert in here, and what this does, it reduces it to a 1/2-inch thread. And then you can screw your barb fitting into there. So that's the beginning. And I cut 2 4-inch pieces of 3/4-inch PVC, and that'll go there. And then the first thing in line at the top here will be my pressure regulator. I want to go ahead and put an insert in here, which will be glued. We want to screw down a 1/2-inch thread. That will reduce it to a 1/4-inch, because that's what the threads are on my regulator. So that's first. I want to grab another T, and we'll glue that there. The next thing in line here at the top is going to be my pulsator. So that's going to mount next. So we want to do an insert, and then we want to do, I did a straight up and down barb thread, a barb fitting with 1/2-inch threads. So I'm going to screw that on there, and your pulsators have just a rubber gasket up in here, so they just push on. So you would just push that on there real tight. Then you want another fitting. And these are cut 4 inches. That way it gives me space to put my PVC straps on, to screw those on. The next thing, 3/4-inch T, your insert that you'll glue, and then your 1/2-inch, which has a 1/2-inch. These inserts have a 1/2-inch female thread, so you want to thread your 1/2-inch thread there, which reduces it to a 1/4-inch female thread, because that's what the gauge requires. And this is a vacuum gauge. It lets you know how much vacuum pressure you have. And I put this at the end, that way it's the closest to the inflations. If you put it over here, it might not be as accurate. The closest you can keep your gauge to your inflations will be more accurate as far as looking at your gauge. So the next thing, you want to put an insert there, and your last 1/2-inch barb fitting, you're going to want to screw in there like that. There's basically your manifold. So what will happen is, I will cut a piece of pipe, of this pipe, 1/2-inch. It'll push onto here, which will go over to my vacuum pump. Now I did have to purchase this barb fitting. What this is a 1/4-inch thread, because that's what the pump has on it. So it's a 1/4-inch female thread to a 1/2-inch barb fitting. So that will, with Teflon tape, we'll mount that there, and then we'll cut a piece of hose depending on where I'm setting the pump. This will, one end will push on here and the other end will push onto your vacuum pump, which creates the vacuum. The next thing you need is, of course, some type of jar or the one we got. It's a Simple Pulse. One of the reasons we got this, they have good reviews, a great product. We ordered the pulsator from them as well. They do sell milking machines. I just didn't want to spend over $1,000 for one. So that's why I ordered some of these parts. I believe we got this from Simple Pulse, I believe, and I think we got this regulator from Simple Pulse, so that's what's on their machines. But the reason we like this milking container is because it actually has filters inside of it. Little filters. As the milk is going through here into the container, it's already filtered for you. That's one of the reasons that we saw this as a benefit, as well as it comes with a little handle, and the jars are large enough so you can milk 3 or more goats. It'll hold quite a bit of milk. As well as it also has a pour spout that you can open up and pour your milk right out into another container if you wish. Well, let's get this thing all taken apart and glued together. All right, so there's the manifold. You got your pump line, got your pump pressure adjustment, got to have your pulsator, and then your regulator, so that way you know what type of vacuum you have on the inflations. Well, that wasn't too bad. Everything seemed to go on pretty good. All right, let's take everything out to the milk parlor and see if we can get it set up. We'll go ahead and try to get this thing put together temporarily to make sure it's in working fashion. It might not even work, I don't know, we'll see. This is where Tammy does the milking. I built this milking stand. I don't know if y'all seen that video. If you haven't, check it out. I'm probably gonna end up having to take this down and put something here. I need something to hold the pump. And then the manifold's gonna have to go on the wall up here. We'll just try to get things basically set up to make sure it works properly. Is it working?
Working. I'm done for you now. Alexa, turn off the pump.
Well, this is the setup. Made a little cabinet. We'll put the pump in the bottom. We got our milking container here. This adjusts the pressure. This comes from the pump. Adjust the pressure. Pulsator. Gauge.
All right. Paper.
That's Jesse.
Jesse.
I see ya.
Yeah. Paper says, "Get me out. I'm done." Alexa, turn off the pump.
And instead of putting a switch in to turn the pump on and off, used a smart plug, just this little smart plug. And that connects to an Alexa. So Tammy just tells Alexa to turn the pump on and turn the pump off. So she's hands-free. But it seems to be working okay.
It's so fast that before I had to add more food to the bucket to try to fit, to get them to finish milking. Now I have to wait for them to finish eating because they milk so fast on this new machine. You're gonna have to hop down.
And she hasn't been up on the milk stand but
Just
one
once.
time.
Yeah.
So we'll see how she goes.
She'll see food.
Well, there we go. I see the milk coming in. What are you guys doing? What are y'all doing under here? Hi, Spencer. Did you wake up? You're not going inside there. You've already been milked. Hank, I'm trying to talk here. You've already been milked this morning.